Welcome to The Decision from Nashville EO, where you will hear the rest of the story after tough decisions were made by entrepreneurs who faced adversity and lived to tell about it.
Hi, Robert here with The Decision, EO Nashville's podcast for entrepreneurs in the Entrepreneur Organization. We help entrepreneurs tell their story of triumph overcoming that difficult decision. Maybe you brought it to a forum for help. We like to share those stories for others who may also be in a state where they just need help with a decision. Thanks for tuning into this special best of episode. On this edition of the show, we'll take a look back at some of our favorite moments from previous conversations. I hope you enjoy them as much as we did.
I think Tony Robbins is the one that, I don't know where if he got it from somewhere, but he said something like the ultimate failure in life is success without fulfillment. And my observation is that it doesn't matter what topic we're talking about success, relational, economic, health. If you get to that place where you have defined success and you do not feel a sense of fulfillment, it's kind of like failure times 1,000. My conviction personally is that when it's all said and done, and I've seen thousands of deaths, probably hundreds of ways to die. And I can assure you, I've only seen one kind of good death. Only one. And that's pain-free and at peace. Every other variable that is experienced at the end is less than ideal. And when I noticed people at peace and comfortable in that twilight, my observation was that they either had us that peace was rooted in a lack of regret. And my sense is it's because as they reflect back over their life, they're judging and they're measuring their life and they're happy with it.
So now 17 years later in Nashville, in my own kitchen, I picked up the phone. I called my grandmother. That's the grandma. The man on the radio says you could get out of debt by having a bake sale. So what are we going to do? And she said, well, open up your hand. And that has been some of my greatest advice, to open up your hand. When you keep your hand open like this, yes, things fall out of your hand, but it leaves room for other things to fall in, for people to put things in it. Because when you keep your hand like this, you can't give anything, but you can't also receive. And so that's how I got my first successful recipe. I did a horrible job at what my grandmother said, but the science came back to serve me, because every stupid thing you've ever had to do is taking you from where you are to where you want to be. I took the science, the lab, the things that I was learning about scientific reactions, and I realized, wait a minute, these ingredients are ingredients on the scientific table, the periodic table. If I put another thing from the periodic table in this bowl, it's going to make a new thing. And all I have to do is manipulate the new thing to be what I want it to be. And I took another look at what my grandmother had taught me. I found everything wrong with it. I fixed it and made my first successful cake. I've been making cake like that ever since. To the tune of being voted as the best cake in Tennessee. We were voted as the best cake in Louisiana. And we rank in the top 10 in the nation as one of the best bakeries to eat cupcakes in this country. All from a girl who didn't know how to bake, not even out of a box.
You know, this was a very short journey that I got to witness from a friend's perspective. Mm-hmm. So Eric and I are in a Marco Polo group with a couple of other really close friends. And over the last year or so, we are sharing our moments of our lives, like the challenges, the obstacles, the wins, the frustrations, And it's really been very valuable to me. And, I'll tell this to anyone. Many, many years ago, probably 6 years ago, I talked to everyone about Marco Polo and how powerful it was for me running my business. But really, at the end of the day, the reason for the app is to have deep, meaningful conversations with someone's video in their face. Their personal messaging with face-to-face communication is by far the most important thing in our lives. The most best way to communicate with anyone is to be in their face, talking to them in person, but we cannot always be in person. And we maintain this really strong bond in this Marco Polo group.
And on the outside, everything looks fantastic. And when you join an organization like EO and you kind of get through that outer shell, you realize that everyone has the same problems, if not worse.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, I don't know if I trade places with anyone, because if you trade places, you got to take all of their bad stuff. And everyone has stuff that, you don't see from the outside, right? Everyone, especially in this social media age, everything looks fantastic, but you don't see the problems that they're having with their kids. You don't see the sick kid. You don't see the problem that they're having with their parents. You don't see what they had to deal with growing up. You don't see all of the stuff, all the baggage that they have. Everyone has it. But you realize it when you're in forum and you get the chance for people to actually open up and be real with each other, and that you're not alone. And it's being an entrepreneur can be very lonely, especially, I've told a lot of people this, that most I believe that a lot of entrepreneurs are introverts. Mm-hmm. All right. We have to be extroverted in order to be successful in our business. But I think a lot of us like being with the people that we like being with. And if we're not with anyone else, we're pretty good with that. And so being able to be in situations where you can talk about the things that matter to you and don't really have to worry about talking about things that don't matter to you is great for me, because especially now I'm at the point in my life where I just have zero desire to talk about anything that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
And Andy Bailey's the one that tagged this. You have to own your own experience. You have to carry your own bag. In fact, we even had those little orange Velcro things for your suitcase when Andy was president that said own your own experience. So that's number one. But just talk to your forum. Tell them what you're needing that you're not getting. And if you've tried everything and that group is not going to work for you, come and talk to me. Come and talk to Laura Miller. We've got 44 forums. There's another forum for you. And, just tell us what you need. And sometimes people need a little break from forum. That's fine. Global has this graphic. It's a little busy, so I don't love putting it out there all the time, but it is pretty awesome. And it talks about, some people are here to learn. Some people are here to network. Some people are here to be better leaders. And there is a path, for everybody. But we also really respect seasons of life. I mean, we're our average age, I think, is 49. That's a busy season of life. So, what may be right for you right now maybe is wrong later, or, once you've sold your company, maybe you want to travel, and we've got all these amazing global opportunities to travel. It just kind of depends on what your values are at the time.
Thanks for listening to the Decision Podcast by Nashville EO. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.